So, welcome back to the career show to be named later. I'm Ryan Martin, the chair of the psychology department at UW Green Bay. This is Dr. Chris Vespia. She's an associate professor of psychology here at UW Green Bay. So first things first, rave reviews from our first episode.
That's great.
Yes, it's we are the surprise hit of the summer. It's kind of us and Game of Thrones at this point, except on our show, nobody dies. So.
We hope not.
Yeah, we're saving that for Sweeps Week. So, anyway, so yeah, we are back. So.
Well, and we've got stiff competition this week because it is Shark Week. And I was a little scared about that. And so I want you to know I did blow our special effects budget for the year, but...
Ooh. That is nice.
But
That is nice.
look at this. We've got a shark with us. And so if careers aren't scary enough for you, who knows, one of us may die.
Right, yes, exactly. So I'm loving it. I like it. I think it's a nice addition to the show. It might be back every week, to be honest with you. We'll see.
We'll see.
So, all right. So last time we talked a lot about packaging, right? And kind of how to package your degree. Can we say more about that? I think that's something that our viewers are interested in.
Absolutely, yeah. I think there are three ways we can talk about packaging, probably more. But one is in the class selection, so the classes you decide to take in your major. Another is in your minor. So what is it that you decide to put with that psychology major? And then the third would be relevant experiences that you gather to put together with your education.
Okay. Let's start with classes then.
Yeah, think about the classes that you're going to take and talk with your advisor about it. You've got a fair amount of flexibility within the psychology major in terms of the classes that you choose. And your advisor can really be helpful in, saying, okay, you're interested in a business career, organizational personnel, and psychology is going to be critical for you. Interested in a human services career, here are some classes that are going to be important. They can also help you with some common misunderstandings. So, I work a lot with students interested in counseling or human services careers. I say to them, it's going to be really important for you to take abnormal psychology and counseling and psychotherapy. And they say to me, but I can only take one because they're in the same core. Right. Well, one will count in your core and one will count as an elective. It's fine, but students often don't know that.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of clarifying misunderstandings, helping you figure out what specific classes can I take. And meeting with your advisor is so important. So what about the minor? Because that's another piece you mentioned.
I think the minor is a way to really add some great knowledge and skills that are going to complement your major and help you, again, package that experience. If you want a business-related career, why wouldn't you have a business minor to go along, or a double major even, to go along with your psychology degree? If you're thinking about human services, what about public administration? Where you're going to learn about nonprofit management and fundraising and those sorts of things. Or, global studies and developing great cultural competence. So, again, your advisor can be really helpful with that too.
And public administration is one that I often, especially because we have a lot of students who are interested in things like nonprofit management and things like that, or working in a nonprofit. It's like, well, then that's a great complementary minor that's going to set you apart from other students who don't have that. The last thing you mentioned was relevant experience, extracurricular experience. Can you talk more about that?
Yes, absolutely. And some of it could be what we think about as extracurricular experience. It could be things like being the leader of a student organization here on campus, or being a resident assistant over in the residence halls. Those are ways to get relevant experience. But also think about things like your employment. So if you're targeting a business career eventually, you're going to want your part-time employment to be in a business-related setting. If you're targeting a human services career eventually, or counseling-related kind of career, then working with one of the autism agencies, or doing something with a group home, or there are all sorts of different opportunities. Pro is a great place, the Career Services website, to look for part-time work, and you can actually search for it by major. So that can be a great thing to do. We'll post that website. You can also look at volunteer work. Maybe you've got to keep the part-time job that you have, fine. But volunteer work can be a great way to get some relevant experience. The Volunteer Center in Brown County has a searchable database that you can use to find great volunteer opportunities. I'd encourage our viewers to think about doing ongoing volunteer work with an organization. It doesn't have to be a ton of hours a week or a month, but if you spend a year or 2 years with New Community Shelter, let's say, maybe someone there can actually be a reference for you. You actually learn something significant about homelessness. You develop some skills interpersonally, all these sorts of things.
Right, big difference between having spent an hour or two on a weekend versus having done this sort of sustained work over the course of a year. Absolutely, and that's something that's going to look very different to potential employers. So, great, and just a quick note, Chris mentioned a couple of links there, and those links are going to be down below in the comments section on YouTube. So if you want to take a look at Pro or Volunteer Center, you can go take a look at those links. So final thought before we go today, as you mentioned, it is Shark Week.
Yes.
Any shark-related careers out there that you are familiar with?
You know, I'm not. I gotta say.
All right. Well, I actually Googled this before we went on air today, and you're right. There aren't any. So I like to think that a psychology major will prepare you for a career as a shark wrangler, which is there aren't very many of those out there.
Because they probably die.
Yeah, it's short, but appropriate skills, right?
Sure.
That we can maybe provide will keep you alive for longer, right? So on that note, final thoughts, I guess, just reminder that we are still looking for a name of our show. Right now we're calling it the Psychology Career Show, to be named later, but I think we'd like something better for that down the road. We may have a contest in the fall, but throw out those names whenever you can. Yeah. Also, if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, things like that, we'd love to hear them. You can email us. You can also tweet. Psyched for Careers is the hashtag we're using right now, which may end up being the name of the show unless we start getting some suggestions that are better than that. So. On that note, I guess that's all I have. Anything else?
I was just, if you send us good questions, we might end up answering them in our next program. So not just questions about this, but other questions you'd like to see us.
Absolutely. We want to tackle those and we want to hear from you. So thank you very much. That's all we have for today.
Bye.